Now don't panic, I know this isn't a Fendt, but it will be. I've just, I need to do the video introduction. I forgot to do it, so I'm gonna have to do it now. So, say hello Walter, you've not met Walter yet. Yes. So, thanks again everyone for, you know, bearing with me. I'm back at it now, in full swing, full steam ahead, and all that jazz. So, yeah, so today I've been doing a bit of filming with the GPS on the Fendt. So I asked for suggestions, and the one that came out on top was the GPS on the 1050. So it's just a basic look at it, just a quick, well, not really a quick look, but you know, look at the basics. And if any of you chaps out there that drive Fendts, you know, you'd probably don't want to watch it because you'll know how to use it anyway. It's the 1050 GPS is the same on any model of Fendt, it's no different. So yeah, so we'll have a look at that. And for those of you that are disappointed that there isn't a 1050 Fendt straight away in the video, I will now be zooming over into the cab as if by magic, time travelling back in time to this morning, or sorry, this afternoon, 12 o'clock-ish, to when I was in it. So right, I'll meet you in the cab. I'll see you soon. Say bye, Walter. Bye. Good lad. Right, so it is now my dinner break. So I'm just having a quick coffee. Hey, have anyone else had these Fisherman's Friend, these blackcurrant ones? Ah, they are nice. We've not come to look at Fisherman's Friend or coffee, we've come to look at GPS. So we'll pan round over here slowly, like a professional. Right, so this is the screen. This is sort of it's really what it looks like on your home, and everything's on your home. In fact, there you go, that's how it all looks. So to get the GPS, to get the settings on it for the GPS, there's two ways I can do it. There's this one here, there, and this one here, this quick jump. That quick jump's pretty good. So, you know, I can have different things showing on here and different options down there, and if I want to quickly go to my GPS, boop, press that one. Right, so press that. I'll change the screen to that. I'll press it again. It brings to the Vario Guide main menu. And to create an AB line, this isn't the menu I want. So at the top, got a little thing there that says AB. Press that. Right, and that brings you to this menu. Now at the top you've got your field, whatever field you're in. This current field I'm in is H17. And then down there it's to do with your boundary. Your way lines are the lines that you will save and store for your GPS. So your AB lines, your contours, whatever lines your GPS will be using, that's where they're stored. So I'll press that, and it brings them up. These are the ones I've got saved. Bottom, left, plus top curve, right. So these ones are in this field that I've already got saved. And the wayline AB is the one that I'm using at the minute, because it's just a temporary AB line I'm using. Sorry, my phone's ringing. Yeah, sorry about that. There was a wife ringing. Right, so that's the yeah, the menu for the AB lines. So underneath there's this thing for obstacles, and so if someone, I don't know, if there was a movable object in the field that if you were to run into it would cause a lot of damage, and you have currently got your eyes closed, you can put where there's an obstacle. So you'd press that, so it'd be a point or an area. So say there's a point, yeah, we'll name it obstacle 1. Press OK, and then boop, down here, obstacle 1. It lets you know that there's something there that is that you want to avoid, and you can have loads of different obstacles. It's pretty handy if there's something buried. Say if I'm subsoiling and I hit a piece of wood and I want to come back and get that piece of wood out with a ripper or something like that, I can mark it on the map. I can put right obstacle, right wood, and I can come back in with this tractor and the GPS and then go right to that spot where I know that wood is. So it's pretty handy for things like that. Or you could just do it old school and put a stick in the ground. But now we're too advanced for that. So to create an AB line, it's this one down here. This brings up your menu of what you can do. So AB, contour, A plus angle, pivot or manual input. So for today we're going to use AB and AB contour. I do sometimes use the A plus angle when I'm going angle to the field, but for today we're just going to use the top two. Alright, so you can maybe see that this bit of the field here, it's got a curve on it. So it's a little bit straight here and it's got a curve there, so I want to put a curve setting in. So what I'm going to do is on that menu we was on, so I'm going to press plus, then I want a contour, which is that one there. So I'm going to select it, press the tick, and it brings up, it's different to the AB line, it brings up this little record button. So I'm going to now press the record. Right, so that's recording now everything I do. But because this little bit's straight and I want to keep it dead straight, I'm just going to set off and I'm going to press the pause button there, which will drop a mark from where I paused it. I'm going to keep driving. Stop here. Right, so from where I press that pause button, now I'm going to unpause it like that, so it's now back to the record. Now that section I've just done there, now it's now going to put a dead straight line in like an AB line. So if there are straight sections on like a curved headland, you can put poker straight bits in it. So now because this bit's a sweeping curve and it's recording, whatever input I do to the tractor, wherever I steer, now it will remember that. So when I'm doing curves, I like to just do little tiny movements on the steering wheel and try and keep it nice, and so it's like a sweeping curve instead of it being like, you know, a bit jaggedy and in and out. And so also there's a dike to my right hand side, and I've got to keep a good 2 meters away from the top of the dike as well, which is part of our thing that we do for conservation, so that the birds have got, you know, the ground nesting birds and the animals have got a good 2 meters around every single field where they can nest and you know, do whatever they like to do. And over 5,000 acres, those 2 meters around all the outside of the fields certainly adds up, and they're full of wildlife. So right, so just going to put a bit more steering on, ignore that last message. Right, so that's that bit done, so I'm on stop, and now underneath here there's a stop button, so I'm going to press the stop, and that's that bit recorded and finished with. And by default it always saves them as wayline contour, so I'll keep it as that for the time being. So I'll press tick, and now I'll show you what we've just done. So I'll get turned around, so I'm going to engage my steering now, so I'm letting go of the steering wheel, just drop the discs down. Now you guys should see There we go, turning. So it's put that curve in, so it's following the exact path that I just drove. You can see we're still going round the corner. Like I say, I do like to put it in really gradually. I try and just make the corner as smooth as I can, because if you're not careful, you steer a bit and steer a bit more, and you can have like your corner can be a bit squiffy. It doesn't look very nice. It doesn't affect anything, but it just looks a bit untidy. And this is that perfectly straight section that I put in. So I'm going to lift up. I'm going to go to the next run. Engage my steering. Drop the discs back in. And again, it's going to follow that line. The one that I did over there, it's going to follow that here, and it'll follow that all the way down the field if wanted it to, but I don't. But it would. You can see we're going around the corner. Where the ins and outs are from a subsoiler, so it's a little bit bumpy. I'll soon get them levelled up. So the corner gets a lot sharper here. You'll see the wheels start to turn. There you go, look. It's doing it all by itself. Right. Right, so we shall put an AB line in then. Oh, and don't worry if it looks like I'm changing fields during the video, because I will be. I'm just trying to record this as and when I'm doing it. So this field is going to come grass again, so I'm just chopping up the rubbish a bit. So right, get that dangly thing out of the way, look. So I want to disc it the same way as this dike runs. So I'm just going to cover the AB straights now. So I've got the 12-metre discs on. And that there is about lovely, simply lovely. Right, so onto the screen. The field I'm in at the minute's BH7, so that'll probably change. I'm not quite sure how I'm really going to record this at the minute, so it's probably going to, 1 second it'll say BH7, then it'll say something else and whatnot, and so forth, so on, and rah rah rah. So I'm going to put an AB line down this side. So I'm back to this field settings screen here, and I'm going to press, let me just get my phone as I always do to make sure you can see. Press this plus here and AB. Right, so this is just straight. So first thing you do, a lot of you will know this, that I've used GPS or used Fendt GPS, but I'm going to cover both. I'm going to cover the Fendt GPS and the GPS in my Puma in the 240, because they're a bit different. The GPS in the 240 does a lot more than this one. Well, that's not to say that this isn't good, because this is awesome. You know, for an inbuilt GPS system, it's very, very good. So the first thing I want to do is I want to set the A point. So I get myself lined up for where I want to be, where I want to drop the point. Now what I don't do, I don't back up right into the very, very far corners and drop my A point and drive right the way down to the other corner of the field and drop my B point. And that's just because sometimes the fields can have a tendency to have a little bit of a dog leg right in the corners over years of ploughing and things like that, just ever so slightly curved out or curved in. So I'll generally drive 20-30 yards further down the dike or whichever side of the field I'm doing before I drop my first point, before I do my A point. And that just means if I set my, you know, if I set my point in that far corner and that far corner and it is a little bit of a dog leg, when it puts that straight line in, it'll be missing a lot in the middle. So I like to get an average and then set my A point, you know, 20-30 yards in, and then do the same with the B. And it just makes sure I can keep a dead straight line down the edge while leaving 2 meters away from the dike, because that's what we do for the conservation, while leaving enough room for the dike and not missing any of the field, if you get me. So first thing I'm going to do then, I want to drop my A point. So I'm where I want to be now, so I'm going to press the A, which is here, and that drops an invisible point where I am. Now the thing about this, which is different to the contour, I can do whatever I like in between now and dropping my B point. If I wanted to, I could drive down here, then I could decide, hang on, I want to go home. I've decided that I feel like having some chocolate hobnob biscuits, and I've left them at home because I'm getting quite peckish. So I thought, right, I'll fold up, I'll drive off, I'll go home, I'll get my chocolate hobnobs, which are a fantastic biscuit, by the way, and get them, come back to the field, and then drive to this corner, drop my B point, and it doesn't matter what I've done in between, it'll put a dead straight line from where I drop that A to where I put this B. Makes absolutely no difference whatsoever. Now if I was to do that on the contour setting, if I was to set the, you know, start recording, set the A point there, and then drive back home, get some hobnobs and come back, then press my B, if I press go and this tractor would then decide to drive itself back to my house, it wouldn't get some chocolate hobnobs because it's not got arms, but it tried to, and then it drive back here. So that's the difference between the two. So all the time, so it don't matter, you know, I can swing a little bit wide here and swing a little bit and swing back in like that. And it won't matter what I do in between. So I'm going to slow up now. I'm about 40-50 yards away from the edge, end of the field, and I reckon I'm not sure I want to be, so I'm going to drop my B point now. Boop. It always comes up, and by default Fendt it saves this as wayline AB. Now this is the left hand side of the field from the field entrance, so I'd want to call this left or whichever, but at the minute I'll just leave it as that. So I'm just going to go over to the other side of the field and show you something else now. Right, so something else that I have to do. So when you set your AB point or AB line, depending on what implement you have, so I did this field last with the Vadestat top down, but now I'm in this field with the Catros discs, and the Vadestat top down is 7 meters wide, but the Catros discs are 12 meters wide. So if I was to use the AB line I'd put in with the top down, the discs would be in that dike. So no on that. I still want to use the AB line because it's perfectly parallel to that dike and it's in exactly the right place, but I need to shift that line across. So if you look on this screen, you can see that's where the tractor is, but that's where the AB line is, so that's where I originally set it with the top down. but I don't want to do that. So I go back at the bottom, then you've got this Vario guide menu, and this is where you can shift and put offsets in and nudge things across. It's something that I use quite a lot. So this little button here at the top says I'm off the mark by 2.85 meters. So to move that AB line to where I am now I've got myself lined up with where I want to be, I push that and it'll set it to 0. Look. So when I engage my auto steer now, it'll still follow that edge because I've got myself lined up, but it's shifted that line across. So if you look down here now, the tractor is on that brown line. I've shifted it across, and because I've altered the width of the implement, this is 12 meters and the top down 7, you can see the line next to it. Oh, hang on, no, what have I done here? Oh yeah, sorry, I pushed a button by mistake. So yeah, but you can also have the option to save that, which is what I just did there. And then press this little button down there. So if I wanted to, I could save right side top down, right side discs, Catros discs. So I can have, you know, a list of implements and just pick that one for this field. But it can get a little bit confusing, to tell you the truth. If I had loads and loads of different AB lines, it'd get confusing. So what I like to do, I just like to shift them across as and when I need it. If it's ones for the drill, I will save them. So because I like to be you know, I like to be accurate with the drill. So it'd also be nice for you to see what I'm doing, but it's a bit dusty. Right guys, well I hope that's been alright for you, a bit of an insight. Like I said, I'll be doing one of the Puma when I'm next on that. I've been in the 1050 a lot recently. In fact, I haven't driven my Puma for ages. Hey look, this is our duck pond. Isn't it lovely? There's one duck on it. Well, still a duck pond. Yeah, thanks for watching guys, and I'll see you in the next one. Not quite sure what that'll be yet, but it'll be something, that's no doubt. Alright everybody, I'll see you later. Bye. Oh, I do like to use the Vada stand top down. Oh, I do like to use the top down. If there's a better cultivator in the world anywhere, then that is something I'd like to see.